Greetings and salutations. Oh my stars and garters, what an episode that was. I just finished watching it. Episode 3 of X-Men 97. And this one's going to be so much more of a review because boy did a lot happen in this one episode. Really makes you appreciate that on a streaming platform with no ads, they can give you the full 30 minutes for a half an hour animated show as opposed to 23, 25 minutes, give or take, due to ads and other associated things. So, where to begin with this one? I guess first thing you should know is I've always had two major loves in my life. The first, of course, is the X-Men. Shout out to my folks for getting me this amazing shirt this past year for Christmas. Thank you so much. And my other is, of course, horror. I've always been such a horror geek that when I was in high school, I went out of my way to seek out an unabridged but translated edition of Dante's Inferno and read it just for fun because I'm insane. I liked it so much that I actually sought out the next two. People might not be aware that it's actually the first in a trilogy, and there's a reason for that. The Inferno chapter is by far the most interesting, best part. So, you know, bound to love this episode. Has my two favorite things in it. Also, Chris Britton, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, is back as the voice of Nathaniel Essex, Mr. Sinister. It remains unchanged and just as shiveringly nightmarish as ever, which just so glad to hear it. That voice, Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger voice, these are the voices of horror that I grew up with. So kudos for that. The animation continues to be, it's not a radically new art style, but the animation is definitely an improvement over what came before. And the other interesting thing that stood out is I'm assuming due to this being on a streaming platform and aimed at a slightly older audience, we got things we never would have gotten in a show made for kids on a Prime network channel. We got demons and references to hell and literal, some of the demon designs, all of the demon designs were really cool. A few of them were even like the one beast encounters in the elevator, incredibly anime influenced. I feel, right out of Howl's Moving Castle or something like that. Let's see what else. This episode, even though, they were able to take advantage of the full 30 minutes, boy was it packed. So we got a lot more of Bishop in this one. Always happy to see that. We got a cameo from Shard. I've been saying for a while now that I'd love to have her back in the show. So even though it was wasn't really her, it was still nice to see. Speaking of, I guess Bishop's time travel technology works differently from the last time we saw it. All right. We had the whole baby Nathan infected with the techno-organic virus. People might remember that the techno-organic virus actually has appeared in the show before. Most notably, it was a thing that Apocalypse was working on in an episode when both Cable and Bishop showed up. So it makes sense that it's back. Maddie's turn from a clone fully believing that she's Jean into the Goblin Queen was quick, but I get it. And also the resolution of her story in this, of Inferno, it's a lot faster and different than how it played out in the comics, but I am not necessarily opposed to that. A lot of stuff happened in the comics more so due to issues going on behind the scenes than for narrative reasons, and not having Scott be, a deadbeat husband and dad who just pretty much left his wife and kids. Soon as his old ex came back from the dead, kind of okay with that change, gotta be honest. And Gene and Maddie kind of seemingly, coming to terms at the end, also okay with that. I like that a lot better than you know, uh, Maddie just spending years deranged and angry as is her right. Speaking of, we got so much more Jean in this. As my friend over at Power of X-Men would say, this episode really helped establish why exactly Jean is considered a god queen. And also, I loved that we got to see her origin more with her friend. The first time her powers manifest, Xavier there picking her up. Also, a lot of cool cameos. You can expect that I'll be delving into that stuff later. Just standout moments for pretty much everyone in the cast. This was just such such an uncanny episode. Really can't wait for next week. Apparently, this was also the last episode that they showed at the advance premiere gathering party they had a few weeks ago. I was not able to attend, but I've been informed that. So next week's episode will be new for everyone, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, everyone, Excelsior.